David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Seventh game this year, you win by 20 or more points. Just your overall performance, offensively and defensively.
Well, I just want to say, first, the players did an excellent job on a short week. I was very pleased with the preparation coming in, and it's always nice when you have a good week of prep and obviously you go out and perform. So, it's just like anything. It's the complementary football formula. These guys are, bought in and just stay after the little things. We'll have some things that we'll need to correct. That's usually the case. But just really, I'm really proud of the way they finished. They did a good job with the ball control offense. Remind me, similar to the game plan up in Kansas City in 21. Something Dan and I talked about earlier in the week. But offensively, we took some shots early, didn't hit them, and we just stayed the course and was able to get the ball in the end zone. So, and I thought special teams was neutral, but it was another excellent home win for us.
I'm Mike Todd with ESPN. When DaRon's bringing another one back, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'd like to tell you. I'd like to tell you I had something to do with it, but I have absolutely nothing. But man, what an incredible! Just what an incredible play. What he's done in such a short time in his career, and he's such a humble young man. And I think if you could just see, I hope you saw it on the sidelines and you felt it. Just the reaction itself is, something I'll never forget. Obviously it was NFL history, but in reaction when he came in the locker room. So I think that tells you, it speaks volumes about how people feel how everybody feels about him as a man. But man, he's he sees it and gets it, and the return was as good as I've seen.
I believe you're the coordinator in New Orleans when Joe pulled out the phone.
Why in God's name are you bringing that up?
What do you make of the turkey leg celebration?
Oh, the turkey leg?
Yeah.
Well, when Jerry's in the locker room before the game, speaking on it, and it was all for it. So I just told him, hey, that game better be well out of hand before we start pulling turkey nuggets out of a kettle can. That was a little different pregame for me. But no, it's a great win, great home win. And really, I can't thank the fans enough. I thought they brought it today. Just from I love it when those towels are going. It was just what a great atmosphere. Just the whole day, obviously, and what's most important, Thanksgiving. So.
Mike, Elwin Henderson Gilmore, obviously Dak just continues to improve week by week, and tremendous stats again today.
Yes, definitely. I think the situational football really stood out. The clutch throws, particularly attacking the end zone. But we just got to keep chugging. Keep ponding away. The run game. So that's something that you always look at and want to improve on. But I think the benefits of moving him, and particularly the red zone, and the gold zone, and some of the situational calls, I thought he was incredible.
Newy Scruggs, NBC5, you spoke about Bland and just the reaction that he got here in the locker room. Can you speak more about that? And also just when Bland basically took over for Diggs, that was a tough moment for this team, and he's raised his level there to be.
Oh, no doubt. It's great to see Trayvon in there, and another man that carries tremendous respect, in our locker room. But it's about opportunity, and it's what you have to have in this league. It's the unfortunate part of this game. You see it every week. I hopefully we look relatively healthy coming out, which is probably the most important statistic next to winning. So yes, DaRon is just from every opportunity he's given, he's just been so steady, so professional for a young man, and then just his playmaking ability is special.
There might be a flag on that play because there was a bunch of guys running to the end zone to celebrate with him.
Yeah, I think there's I guess there's some traditions I'm not totally in tune with yet. So, but I'm glad they worked with us, and obviously we took the time out too just to get control of it. But that's a big moment. Let's be honest. The sideline erupted. So very, very happy, very proud of DaRon.
Clarence.
You won Super Bowls in big games, but from obviously the Bland stuff and turkey on the sideline and the jumping in the kettle and Dolly Parton halftime, have you part of a more fun experience? I mean, in a win like that, I mean,
Yeah, it's just like growing up in inner city Pittsburgh in the '70s. You know, this is just old hat for me. But you know, that's a joke. But yeah, no, it's part of being a Dallas Cowboy. I mean, you know, that's. But I think it's, you know, this game is, you know, it's so great. And what these men do, they're special. To be an NFL football player, I mean, that's, you know, obviously what they go through physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, you know, victories, it's good to celebrate them, and you need to. You know, you need to smell the roses as you walk through the garden, as our guys did today. Because, you know, when you're on the other side of it, it's hard. It's hard. It's such a competitive league, and I do think it's, you know, this is a special, unique place.
and I don't know if you answered it earlier, but just talk about the onslaught in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was a tough game, and it just kind of snowballed for you guys, and offensively and defensively.
Definitely. I thought they did a really good job, frankly. I thought they did a really good job with their quick game and getting the ball out in space. And, you know, and obviously we got a chance to see Sam last year. He, you know, I thought he did what you need to do. I mean, they controlled the ball, you know, for, 18 minutes in the first half. So, I mean, so they did a good job. You know, we had the 2 3-and-outs to start this, you know, the third quarter. So, but we felt like we would have some big play opportunities. We hit them. And then I think once we got the game opened, you know, our pass rush was able to, you know, take advantage of that situation. And then, you know, the fourth quarter, you know, went the way it did.
Mike Edwarder, ESPN, you talked about the importance of establishing home field advantage. And you've certainly done that, winning 13 straight games. And all of your games this year at home have been blowouts of historic proportions now. What's the value in that?
Well, there's no place like home, and not to be, you know, I don't want to just kick it to the side, but there is such a rhythm to your preparation and everything leading up to it, and if you could just hear the locker room, you know, the locker room before the game, because you know it's you know, it's rock and roll about, you know, 5 hours before till about 2 hours before, and then it goes into the heavy stuff. So I mean these guys are, you know, just the juice that they bring, and I think the importance of sleeping at home, just some of the little things that we've done. But you know, our crowds have been incredible too. I mean, you have to give them, you know, credit for the atmosphere that's created here, and our guys love it. I mean, they love playing at home, and you know, our next one's going to be a tough one. You know, and well, they're all going to be tough, as you know. But to me, it's the oldest formula in the league. You know, you got to win all your home games and, you know, split on the road. I mean, I remember hearing that my first year in the league in '93. So it's good to establish it, and we need to take care of it, because, you know, I know being an opposing team coming into this stadium, you know, people enjoy coming here to play. I mean, this is a great atmosphere to play in and compete in. So, you know, we get everybody's best shot too. So, and we're aware of it. We talk about it, and you know, but our guys love playing at AT&T. I mean, I think it shows each and every time we line up here.
David.
Mike, I think you look at stats, Dak in these last 5 games is like 73% completions, 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He talked about you and him talking after the San Francisco game, and just kind of, how much are there offensive changes in place since that game, or is it more just his reaction and understanding where this offense is and what his obligations?
Well, I mean, he's playing at a high level. There's no question. But I think, you know, the San Francisco game for all of us, you know, and I know for me, especially, you know, when you have your lead up and you go into the game and you try to play games certain ways, you know, because we were relatively in, you know, favorable third downs in that game, and had been very good and still are, you know, very productive on third downs. And so, you know, I think, you know, when you try to play it a little too exact, because you may be concerned about other things, you know, where you are as an offense. But, you know, a big part of our success is really, you know, we don't talk about our offensive line enough. You know, I think our pass protection, I mean, the last touchdown, you know, the pass protection was absolutely, you know, it was excellent for that, you know, particular play in the defense that they played too. So I just think it's just, you know, our defense, we talked about this, our defense was further ahead than the offense coming out of camp. And I was honest about that. And we played that way. But I think the complementary football is coming together, and you're going to need it. I mean, you know, if you want to be, you know, a good team in this league, you have, in my opinion, you have to have it. If you want to win a championship, that's the only way you can get there.
So it's just like trusting what you see and not being so overly conscientious to install like the nuances of the offense to just.
No, I mean we're rolling through our menus. I mean we're not a create the wheel, you know, system approach. I don't believe in that. I mean we don't chase new ideas and concepts. You know, if there's a wrinkle that we feel helps us, you know, it's a variation of what we've already done. We have so many vested reps in the spring and training camp, and that's the foundation of who we are. Because you know it takes time to get the timing and the efficiency where you want it each and every year, and you know, and the fact of the matter, you have less time together, and that's why I give all these NFL players in today's game an incredible amount of respect for what they do away from the building, and you know that 5 weeks off in the summer, that's a critical time now in the development of an offensive passing game, which you know you were able to get that done in the past in the spring and training camp. So I mean, there's a lot that goes on, and I just think that those types of adjustments, and I think we look like a first-year offense a little bit the first 4 weeks, and but we played the way we needed to play to win, and won some games decisively too, and we played to our defense, and it served us well. But you know, this is the way we want to complement each other. You know, when they give us an opportunity, we need to go put it in the end zone, and you know, and we need to get out in front, because when we're out in front, you know, our pass rush is lethal.
Mike, you told us that you break the season into trimesters, and I don't know
Yes.
if this next stretch is the start of the third one or not, but
After Seattle.
but these next 5 games with these teams that you're playing, how do you feel you guys are going into those games with all these? You got teams with winning records coming up.
Well, I mean, I'm really focused on finishing the second trimester, so if we can just enjoy that in this Thanksgiving victory, I'd appreciate it. But no, I think like anything, you know, these games always get tougher at the end of the year. I mean, that's November, December football, I think always speaks for itself, because it's, you know, things are starting to materialize. But, you know, as we talked in the past, I really don't. I don't really worry about anything till you get to 11 wins, because you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, you know, I know you guys do a wonderful job writing articles, and you don't need me for filibuster. You got Clarence, so. Yeah.
And with that,
Newey.
it's my turn.
It's okay. You'll be all right.
You're the closer.
Mike, just speaking your word about menus here, now that you're the play caller, can you speak about what Kavontae Turpin has been able to do this? Because last year we didn't see him used in this fashion.
Well, I mean, you know, I just think, you know, things are different. You know, definitely different for him, and you know, he did the work. You know, he did the work in the offseason, did the work in training camp. I mean, Terp's so much more than a returner, and we all know that. And that, you don't need me to stand up here and talk about it. You need to talk to his teammates. So, I mean, another young man that there's tremendous amount of love and respect for, and you know, and I'm so happy he caught that post, because for a man of his stature, he's about as good as a vertical inside runner that I've coached. You know, I mean, his stride and the way he gets up on the safeties is, you know, he's a factor, and he'll continue to grow, and that's exciting. You know, really happy for him. Terp is a special little guy. So.
Okay, Clarence.
We've talked about a lot of stuff, and we just haven't ignored the elephant in the room, so to speak.
What's that?
Dak has been hot. I didn't mean to
Gained a couple pounds, and
no, seriously, we've talked about how
stressful job here, Clarence.
we talked about how hot Dak is, the kind of zone he is, but I'm comfortable on you calling plays. I mean, it looked like you were dialing it up today, and there were some wide open plays. Certainly, he hit some wide open touchdowns, but it was based on some of the play calls, some of the runs, the outside zones. It seemed like you were dialing up at the right time. How comfortable are you calling plays?
I think really very, very comfortable. I think it's just like anything. You never. I've done it for a long time. He's played quarterback for a long time, but you know, this is the first time we've done it together. And you know, our Thursday night meeting is a big meeting. It's an important meeting. And if you could see it 2 nights ago compared to weeks 1 and 2, I think that would speak volumes about where we are. You know, I think when it's so important, and I've made the mistake of getting too far away from the quarterback room in my past, and you know, I won't let that happen again, because it's critical to be in that room, you know, with all those guys as much as possible. And you know, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it'll stay. Because you know, when you get to that end of the week, when you sit there and talk about how you're going to start the game, and you go through, we call, you know, PCP, play caller's purpose. It needs to be, you know, you need to be finishing each other's sentences, you know, and I feel like we're there. So I think that's all part of that rhythm, because, you know, my job's to tee it up for him. You know, he has the big job, the real job, and that's to play. So, and that's just the way I've always approached it.
All righty, thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks.